Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of my Career Mode series. As you probably already know, we are in the January transfer window and we are looking to bring in some more depth for the squad, and one of those players is Pablo Sarabia. I did some research online and it said that he's one of the most exciting players in La Liga, and so I thought I could bring him in. He plays right mid, right wing. I think he can also play center attacking mid, and so he's a player that can really bring something new to the squad and also fill several positions. You see there, his weak foot is 4-star, and he also has 4-star skill moves. So just a really valuable player all around, and I think he can fill several spots in the squad. And since he is pretty young, he's only 20 years old, I think he's going to come pretty cheaply. I think I end up putting a £900,000 offer in for him, and we're going to see if that's enough to secure his signature. And another area of the squad we need to strengthen is our defense. And David Alaba, you saw me chase him last window. We're going to try to bring him in since we have more time. And compared to our other targets, he is relatively expensive. 3.1 mil is what I put in for him. We're going to see if that's enough to bring him to Swansea. But next up, we have a game against Everton. And if you remember, last time we played Everton, we did quite well. So we're looking to extend that trend here. And it would not take long for us to get our first chance. Jonathan de Guzman would bury that into the back of the net to make it 1-0 in the 31st minute. The next chance would come when J-Rod would make an almost identical run, this time drawing the penalty. And who else would step up to take it but J-Rod himself, and he would bury that into the back of the net, this time making it 2-0 to Swansea. And most chances come from just individual brilliance from players, but this time it was a passing move that would give Jonathan de Guzman his second goal of the game right before halftime. And that third goal would give us a well-deserved lead going into halftime, but could we protect our lead in the second half and avoid a meltdown? That answer would come early in the second half when Jody Lukoki, our new signing, would dribble into the box. Ite Schechter would dribble around and finally get his shot off to make it 4-0. But the cream of the crop would come from Jesse Rodriguez, just an absolutely ferocious power shot to make it 5-0. Everton's hope for a consolation goal would come in stoppage time when Gerhard Trimmel would bring down Kevin Morales in the box, drawing a penalty. The ever-dependable Leighton Baines would step up and hit the bar. It would come out, and that is how it would end 5-0 to Swansea, an absolutely ridiculous scoreline. But now back to transfers. You see half of our offers have been rejected and half of them accepted. But the good news is that Semed Yesil has accepted our contract offer, so we can go ahead and bring him into the team. We sorely need him because we are short on striking options. And also, we get to send Pablo Sarabia a contract offer, and hopefully he's someone that we can bring into the team very, very soon, because Jody Lukoki and Nathan Dyer are both very similar players, but Sarabia is going to bring something a little different to the table. But you see there, Sarabia likes where he's living, so we're going to have to up our contract offer just a tad, and we're going to give him £6,000 a week, 4 years, and see how that goes, send that off, and see what he says back. Next up, we have Stoke City, and luckily, when I looked at their team sheet, they do not have Peter Crouch, the man mountain, who gave us so many problems last time. So hopefully Kenwyne Jones doesn't have a good game, even though he is a great player. But of course, my talk of Kenwyne Jones has jinxed us, and he would dribble through my entire defense to bury that into the bottom corner to make it 1-0 in the 25th minute. Things were not looking good. But we would have a hatful of chances when Jody Lukoki would dribble in the box, give it to de Guzman. De Guzman would give it to Yesil. Yesil's shot would miss, but de Guzman would have a header that would be blocked yet again. But that bad luck would follow Stoke to the other end. They would hit the bar twice, and then it would finally be shot wide by Kenwyne Jones, who had done so well before to get their first goal. Stoke, who are usually characterized by their sit-back and defend style, were taking the game to me, and Matthew Etherington would get their second goal just before halftime. And sadly, that is how this game would end 2-0. Losing these kind of games at home are just not acceptable if we have any chance of getting that 5th place spot. But let's see if the disappointment from that defeat can be masked by the joy of transfers. And we have a transfer offer for Pablo Hernandez. Wigan Athletic want 4.7. And that's just not enough for me, even though I wouldn't mind getting rid of Hernandez. So I up that just a tad to $5 million. It's enough to where they'll take it and won't be scared off, and I get a little more money for the player. But it is time to get another goalkeeper. I've been chasing a goalkeeper throughout this entire time, but I never showed you guys because it never came to fruition. But this guy, Alphonse Areola, plays for PSG. Cheap, young, and very, very strong. I think he's going to become a really great goalkeeper. So I put in a £900,000 offer for him to see what they would say back to me because he is their third choice goalkeeper at the moment. And if we can raise him up and get him up to at least, a 75 or 80 overall, if he doesn't stay in the team, we can sell him for a pretty profit. But next up, we have a game against QPR, who are doing quite well. I think this is Cal Freezy's QPR. By the way, they are climbing up the table. Very early in the game, we would get a corner, and Kimi Augustine's effort would find the head of Joris Okore, who would get his first goal for the team in the 10th minute. But QPR would have something to say about our lead, and the never-lovable Bobby Zamora would find the back of the net in the 12th minute right after our goal to level it up. And things would go from bad to worse when Ji-Sung Park would find Zamora yet again in the box, and he would bury that in the 28th minute to make it 2-1. QPR were up. And things would go from bad to earth-shattering when Joris Okore would go down with a very serious injury. After shipping 2 goals and losing one of our most valuable young promising players, the game would end 2-1 to QPR. Things just keep getting better when Joris Okore is out for 3 months, yet Pablo Sarabia has accepted our contract offer and we can bring him on over to Swansea. And luckily, our offer for Pablo Hernandez has been accepted, $5 million, so we're probably going to get about $3 million in the transfer kitty. And Alphonse Areola, our offer for him has been accepted, so we can go ahead and throw him a contract offer. Hopefully that goes through and we can get Trimmel out of goal. And we get a couple of emails, one saying that we get 3.7 from the Hernandez sell, and also Areola doesn't want to move from where he is, so we're going to up his offer a little bit more, tell him he's going to be an important first-team player because he is. I want to get Gerhard Trimmel out of goal as soon as possible and send that on its way. And also, Luis Suarez wants to leave Liverpool, and that bodes well for us because they are one of our main rivals for that 5th place spot. But with Okore hurt, I wanted to bring in another young and promising center back, and Eliakim Mangala is someone that I rate very, very highly. I love playing with Porto, and he's one of the main reasons, has a ton of pace for a center back, and we're going to send them I believe it's £3 million offer, and see if we can get him over to Swansea. We're also going to add one of our older and less valuable players, Tate, to see if we can sweeten the deal a little bit. And I thought while we were strengthening our defense, which needs a ton of strengthening, why not look for another left back? Because I think Alaba is just going to be too much for us, and we can't bring him in. So why not bring someone even younger and even more promising? And that player is Grimaldo, plays for Barcelona B team. And I think that he is going to be an absolute monster. Already 66 rated overall at 17 years old. Has a good bit of pace, has really good positioning. And if we can bring him in, I think he's going to be a absolutely wonderful addition to the team. And I thought we would also strengthen our other side of defense and bring in another right back. And João Cancelo is the person I was looking at. 65 rated overall, 18 years old. And even though he isn't an instant upgrade over our current right backs, he is someone that I think can really grow into the position and become a really great player. And hopefully we can start building our team around these young players, and he is just one piece of the puzzle. But Alphonse Areola has once again turned down our contract offer, and so we're going to up it just a tad bit more to £5,000 a week. Tell him that he's still going to be an important first-team player, and hopefully that is enough to bring him in. And also a 5% clean sheet bonus, and I'm not too worried about it because we never keep clean sheets. But our transfer offer for João Cancelo has been accepted, so we are going to go ahead and send him a contract offer. Once again, these players are just peanuts on our wage budget, so upping them a little bit more or keeping them the same isn't going to be that big of a deal, and we're going to send him an absolutely minuscule amount, and hopefully he accepts it. But Mangala, we are not going to be able to get him for that price, and so we're going to up it just a little bit more, and they don't want Tate, and so we're going to take it to $4 million and see if we can bring him in for that amount. I doubt it, but it can't hurt to try, can it? And Grimaldo, they say, is too valuable a player, so we're going to up that a little bit more to $900,000. That seems to be the magic number for these young players, and send that off and see what they say about it. But next up, we had a game against Liverpool, and sadly, they did not sell Suarez. They are refusing to sell him. That would have made them a much less dangerous team, yet this game would still prove to be a challenge. Problems would start when Nuri Sahin would get a ball from Luis Suarez. Very nice run, gets his own rebound to make it 1-0 in the 19th minute. But from a Liverpool free kick, our fortunes would start to change. Ite Schechter would get the ball and run and run and run and run, and nobody was tackling him for some reason. He just would keep on running. He's not that fast of a player, but I guess no one is as fast as him. Cuts back and just easy as pie shoots that into the goal to make it 1-1 in the 28th minute. The next chance would come from a corner, and it would find Pablo Sarabia in the box. He would have a beautiful shot blocked by Pepe Reina and behind. We would also carve out a chance from the ensuing corner. Ite Schechter just wants to put his stamp on this team, and he would have a header blocked by Pepe Reina, and his second header would be saved by Reina as well. And just like that, the game was over 1-1, but we would get an email after the game saying that Alphonse Areola had accepted our contract offer. We finally have another goalkeeper. And even though he's only 65 rated right now, he's going to become better than Trimmel, and I think he might even play better than Trimmel right now at a 65 rated. We were also able to sign João Cancelo, the very promising right back from Benfica. But Grimaldo is proving a little bit harder to land, and so we're going to up that just a tiny bit more to 1.2 million to see if we can bring him in from Barcelona B. And after a couple of days, we find out that that is enough to land Grimaldo, so we can go ahead and send him a contract offer. He only wants 2250, like all of these young players. So that is something that we can definitely give him. And guys, that is where this episode will end. I hope you enjoyed it. A like or a subscription is greatly appreciated. And pretty soon here, I'm going to be posting the very first episode of the Be a Player mode. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.